What a weekend for New England sports. Sox winning. Patriots had that come from behind win down in Houston. More on that coming up in about 15 minutes. And as we mentioned, the rescheduled Boston Marathon being held today. Kayla Fish live in Hopkinton, Mass, right near the starting line. Good morning, Kayla.
Hey, good morning, Patrick, and an exciting morning it is here in Hopkinton, Massachusetts. Just within the last 15 minutes or so, we've seen a line of buses bringing volunteers and security here to the starting line. In just a few hours, the 125th Boston Marathon will officially be underway, with runners and athletes crossing the starting line here in Hopkinton, and they'll be making history in the process. That's because it's been more than 2 years since the Boston Marathon was run in person, with COVID canceling the race altogether in 2020. This is also the first time that the marathon is taking place in the fall, since this year's race was then postponed an extra 6 months due to the pandemic. And there are plenty of changes too. The number of runners was capped at about 20,000, and all participants have to show proof of vaccination or take a negative COVID test in order to participate in today's marathon. A ton of work went into making this race happen, both from the organizers and the athletes themselves. And it's the day, finally, that everyone has been waiting for, including Rhode Island State Trooper Daniel O'Neill, who will be running his first marathon ever this morning. He spoke to 12 News about what it took to prepare.
Oh, it's very rigorous. It's no easy task. You go every day, even if you don't want to go. There's days where it's raining, there's days when it's freezing, there's days when it's very hot. But you have to continue to train every day so that you can do your best at the marathon. And the marathon is, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, so I want to make sure I do my best.
A once-in-a-lifetime experience indeed, one that O'Neill has been training for since 2019. He's also been raising money for the charity Cops for Kids with Cancer, and he's helped raise close to $300,000 so far. And as I mentioned, of course, the marathon gets underway in about a few hours from now. The first athletes beginning around 8 a.m. Then the elite groups of men and women will start around 8:30, 8:45, and then there's the rolling start with the rest of the participants beginning at 9 a.m. That's the latest live in Hopkinton, Massachusetts this morning. I'm Kayla Fish, 12 News.
So it's not Patriots Day, but it is Marathon Monday in Massachusetts. 125th Boston Marathon rescheduled to today because of the pandemic. A lot of changes for runners. Our resident runner, Kayla Fish, is live at the start of the 26.2-mile race in Hopkinton, Mass. I'm sure it's tempting, Kayla, to maybe want to hop in and try and run this race today. It's a good day to run, right?
Yeah, I mean, Patrick, it's a perfect running weather this morning. I'm going to sit this one out, but there are plenty, thousands of runners that are so excited that this day is finally here. And this right here where I am is where it all begins, here in Hopkinton, Massachusetts. The starting line just a short distance from where I'm standing. And a ton of preparation goes into making this race happen, not only from the athletes who have been training for this for years now, but also all of the organizers. It's been more than 900 days since the last time a Boston Marathon was run in person. This year's field of athletes was also reduced by about a third of its usual size, with about 20,000 runners participating today. There's also going to be a rolling start aimed at spacing runners out on the course. All participants also have to show proof of vaccination or take a negative COVID test, and masks must be worn indoors and on the shuttle buses as well. All of these measures just to make sure that this once-in-a-lifetime experience happens for so many, including Rhode Island State Trooper Daniel O'Neill, who has been training for this day since 2019.
What I've been told is that, pain is this weakness leaving the body, and just to keep a good positive attitude. And that's what I've always done. I've always tried to keep a nice positive attitude, just to make sure that I do my best and make all my supporters proud. I mean, my wife and my 2 boys.
Now, O'Neill is not only running for his family, but also for the charity Cops for Kids with Cancer. He's raised close to $300,000 for that charity so far. And of course, there's so much work and dedication that goes into preparing for this race, all culminating today. The first athletes cross the starting line here in Hopkinton, Massachusetts around 8 a.m. That's the latest live in Hopkinton, Mass. This morning. I'm Kayla Fish, 12 News.